In a small, quiet village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a young boy named Kian. Kian wasn't like the other kids. He was smaller, quieter, and often overlooked. But what he lacked in size, he more than made up for in heart. Kian had a dream so big that it seemed impossible to everyone around him. Kian wanted to become a master blacksmith, known far and wide for creating the finest swords. The problem? He had never even held a hammer before. In his village, blacksmithing was a craft passed down through generations, and Kian came from a family of farmers. Every day after helping his father in the fields, Kian would sneak away to the old blacksmith's shop. The blacksmith, Master Riker, was a gruff old man with arms like tree trunks and a heart as tough as the steel he forged. At first, Riker laughed at the idea of a small, frail boy becoming a blacksmith. But Kian was persistent. "Teach me," Kian would say every day, his voice unwavering. Riker would wave him off, saying, "You're too weak, boy. This work isn't for you." But Kian didn't give up. He kept coming back, his determination growing stronger with each rejection. He spent every free moment watching Riker, memorizing his movements, studying the way the fire glowed, the way the hammer struck the metal. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, Kian found himself alone in the shop. Riker had left early, and the forge was still warm. Kian knew this was his chance. He picked up a small hammer, feeling its weight in his hand, and approached the anvil. His heart pounded in his chest as he placed a small piece of iron on the anvil. With a deep breath, he swung the hammer down. Clang! The sound echoed through the shop, startling Kian, but instead of stopping, he kept going. Clang after clang, the iron began to take shape. Hours passed, and Kian's arms grew tired, but he didn't stop. His hands were blistered, his muscles ached. But his dream fueled him. When Riker returned the next morning, he found Kian slumped over the anvil, a crude but recognizable sword beside him. Riker's eyes widened in surprise. He picked up the sword, examining it closely. It was far from perfect, but it was the work of someone who refused to give up. From that day on, Riker took Kian under his wing. He taught him everything there was to know about blacksmithing: how to control the fire, how to mold the metal, and most importantly, how to pour his heart into every piece he created. Years passed, and Kian grew stronger, his skills sharper. He became known as the Unbreakable blacksmith, not because of his strength, but because of his unbreakable will. People traveled from distant lands to commission swords from him, each one a masterpiece. Kian's dream had indeed changed everything. He transformed from a small, overlooked boy into a legend, all because he refused to let go of his dream. His story became an inspiration to everyone in the village and beyond, a reminder that no matter how impossible a dream may seem, the will to achieve it can make it a reality. And so, the tale of Kian, the unbreakable blacksmith, lived on, a testament to the power of determination, the strength of the human spirit, and how one dream can truly change everything.